Hello my friends, today we are going underwater to see all these different types of sea creatures from different locations. We're going to the Abyss. Today we're taking a look at Legion's Abyss Universe. This is another standalone game in the Abyss Universe. This is a 2-player card game. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. Before I get to the moment you've been waiting for, I wanted to tell you about the Sell Trade program at Noble Knight Games. Now as gamers, we all have games that are cluttering our shelves that we either don't have the right group for or might even not like it. Well, now you can turn those unappreciated games into cash or store credit. Noble Knight Games buys thousands of games and gaming products. It's easy to send them a list of the games that you'd like to sell or trade. Now they'll send you a quote and even pay for the shipping of the games. Get treated and paid like royalty while you sit back and collect cash or store credit. To get started, click the link in the description of this video or in that upper right corner there, and then click the Sell Trade button. You're going to have a hand of 3 of these different Legion cards in your hand, and they range from 1 to 31, and they're different colors that come from different locations. Some of them, even this last one here, are ambassadors, and they're wild. And you can see that each of these cards has amazing, beautiful art that fits the Abyss universe. From those hand of 3 cards, each player is going to secretly select one of them, then reveal. Now whoever's played the lower number, like the left card here on the yellow, they get to play first, which allows them to place that card in the location of its color on their side of the board. Each of these is like a mini area control battle. Then they get to refill their hand by taking one of the 2 face-up cards or the face-down card. These are the ambassadors are wild. They're great because they can be any color when you play them, so they refill with that. The player that played the higher card, like the 15 purple, puts it on their side as well. And they're left to either take the face-up card that they know or the one that they don't know. With this big decision being the one that's not taken, that color gets to attack the opponent's side of the board. Well, the opponent doesn't have green yet, so this won't do them any good, so they'll take this green card in their hand, revealing this is the one that gets attacked, and it's blue. Now this player didn't have blue cards there, but if they did, like a blue and a wild, they would have gotten flipped face down, essentially making it so that they were not there anymore. However, if you play a blue card there later, one of those cards you get to flip back face up. And the card that did cause that attack is now face up. It's going to be one of the cards that you'll be able to refill your hand with next turn once this refreshes like this at the end of the turn. But now you look at majorities. The ones who have majorities get to slide it near them, and they get to activate abilities depending on that location. Like all majorities that are ties, you win. Now right after placing cards, if you have 3 in the same location, or 1 in each of the 5 locations, you get to recruit a hero. Now you'll get the hero in the same color of the location that triggered it, and these have game-breaking abilities like doubling some of the points of things that are attached to it, or even swapping heroes with other heroes, or doing all sorts of different rule-breaking things. And when selecting these heroes, there's a display of 5 of them face up that you'll be able to select from. And if your color hero that triggered it isn't there, you get to select from the 2 top cards of the deck. And that hero is going to be able to place 2 cards from the location that triggered it underneath it like this. And this is important because these are points that the game gets to the end of the game. For example, this ability doubles these points, so this is going to be worth a total of 6 points at the end of the game. You might not make it to the end of the game because this location, some of the Legion cards, and some of the heroes have banners, and if you have 5, you win the game immediately. Otherwise, once the Legion deck gets depleted, the game will end and you'll add up the points, and each of the areas actually give you points as well. Going left to right, they actually give you more and more, and as the points as I showed you earlier. But you also have one more trick up your sleeve. Each player gets 1 stratagem token, and this has a very powerful ability on them. If you don't use them, they'll give you the 2 points instead. And either winning by banners or winning at the end of the game with points is how you win the game. Before I get to the moment you've been waiting for, I wanted to let you know that Game Toppers is giving 15% off premium game mats and accessories specifically to my US and Canada audience using code GameBoyGeek15 off for a limited time only. Hear more about this at the end of my final thoughts. Alright, now in the past I've been a fan of the Abyss games, co-designed by Bruno Cathala, my favorite designer, and Charles Chevalier, who does a lot of great stuff too. And I've been a fan of the series. I liked the original Abyss, I liked the Abyss Conspiracy Abyss Universe, and now this new one, Legions. So this, like the other ones, has amazing, unique art on every card, which is amazing because so many times you get a game that has cool art, and then like, you know, they reuse the same art on other cards and stuff. Like they really took their time and did the right thing and made every card unique. Every card just looks so cool. The art looks so good. It just draws you into the underworld setting. and I love that. I like that when you play, you get the reveal, the sort of simultaneous reveal, and then the lowest card gets to go first, but the higher card is the one that sort of has the hammer to decide the bigger implication of what gets attacked. Very much reminded me of another game that Bruno Cathala co-designed with Bruno Cathala, Raptor, where you pick the lowest one does one thing, the higher one does another, does a different thing, like actions versus movements and special abilities and stuff. And this is similar to that in that you're trying to decide, do I want to go first or not? Sometimes it's better to go first, sometimes it's not, depending on the situation and what's going on and the abilities that are there and things like that. But I like that. So I like the intrigue of not knowing what that third card is. Now, of course, one of the location abilities allow you to kind of look at that. That's awesome. But you don't know what that is. And so it's like, well, this card isn't going to attack them. I don't really want this card. But, you know, I'll take the card I don't really want in hopes that this card that's face down happens to be an Ambassador Wild or the color that they have 2 legions of. So maybe we can, you know, flip them over and get them attacked. So I like that there's a little bit of pressure luck element there as well. It makes you kind of change what you're going to do sometimes. Might make you pivot your strategy. I like that you know what the opponent might play based upon what they picked up from their hand, refilling their hand. You're watching which card they take. Oh, you took a green 7? Okay. I know next turn you're probably going to play that green 7 because you've got 2 greens out there, right? And so knowing that, what are you going to do? Do you want to play something that's lower than a 7 if you have one, just because you want to go first because you can get a hero, and that ability might allow you to then do something and mess them up? Or do you want to play something higher, maybe not so much higher, but just a little bit higher than that number, and be able to have the hammer to that nail again, to be able to see who attacks. So it's interesting knowing what they might play because they just picked something up, and seeing the board state is interesting. The mini area control battles is fun. It always is. So you're struggling for not only the points, but you're also fighting for the abilities, and some of those are great, like the one that gets you wins the ties on the majorities and such. The recruiting of heroes is cool, and I like. It's interesting. Like I was mentioning as I played this last, that you think of Bruno's design principles, and it's like, hey, 3 of the same or 5, 1 of each of 5, and it's like that same design mechanism was sort of used in an earlier game this year called the Gatsby, where the win condition was have 3 of the same characters of the same type or 5 different ones, right? And interesting, but the math just seems to work out. But recruiting the heroes is cool because a few things. Number one is you're attaching 2 cards to your heroes. So it takes 3 to get them, or 5, but you're attaching 2 of them. So if you got 3 of the same color, 2 of them are going to go under there. And that's basically, you're trying to get those points because legions that are on the board don't score you anything in the game. So you're trying to figure out which ones to score and put them down there. But as you do that, you are weakening your majority, right? You're getting an ability from the hero, or sometimes points, and then you're getting those points. You're locking those points in. But you are weakening your ability to keep that majority, because now if you had 3 cards on there, you only have 1. And you may have lost the majority, right? That if another player had 2, if they had 1 on there and you had 1 on there and they have the tiebreaker, well, you know what? That majority just at the end of this turn is going to swing from you having it to them having it. I like that. And if it doesn't, then you're still weakened, right? You still just have 1 card there. You're going to need to take 2 more turns at best case to get that majority, to get another hero from that specific color. I like that. I like that when you get attacked, it's not the end of the world, because as you play into an area that you're attacked and they're face down, you can rally a legion. So let's say you have 2 legions there. It gets flipped face down. You play a card. One of those you get to decide which one flips up. And now you're still 1 card away from getting a hero. I like that aspect. You're not, the attacking yet hurts you, but it doesn't totally crush you. And I like that. The banner immediate victory condition, again, lots of Bruno's 2-player games do this, and I love it. There's always that threat. Getting 5 banners is hard. It's not going to happen often, but just the threat that it's there means it's going to change, what you do, especially if you're focusing on the blue, which has the banner, on the board, and it also has banner on some of the heroes. But other legions colors have banners too, so there's only 8 of them total in the game, and you got to get 5 of them. And it's hard to do, but the fact that it's possible, my last game I got to 4 of them, and I almost got to the 5th, went to scoring, and of course I ended up losing because I was focusing too much on the banners. I like that you have the hidden stratagem ability that is used. You can use it for the ability, or you can just save it for 2 points, and depending on what it is, what you want to use it, that's another good decision space. So overall, I think this is a great quick game. You know, it's only about 20 minutes, but it has more depth than the simple card play should suggest, right? Pick a card, play it, flip it face up, put it there, right? Like the mechanics are pretty simple, but the game has more depth and it feels like a bigger game than it is, because it's really just a quick 20-minute filler, but it does feel like there's more going on and there's more depth and there's more replayability and such like that. So I like it. Anything that could improve the game? Yes. The player aid itself, they used a lot of the first side for like the turn order and stuff and how things work, but they didn't put the stratagem abilities on there. They had just the hero ability, so you had to look in the rule book for that. I would have rather have seen just maybe one little card. Didn't have to be a big player, the same size card as the other cards, to have the turn structure and stuff. But then that opened up space to put the stratagem abilities on the player aid, so you have to go grab the rule book. Also, the points on the locations, they could have been a little bit more prevalent because you almost like miss them. They're kind of like, I mean, once you've played the game once, like okay, they go from 1 to 5, left to right or right to left, depending on which side of the board you're sitting on. But they could have been a little bit more relevant on the board. The last thing is, you know, because of the depth and because of what's there, first few plays, you're going to have a little bit of icon fatigue. Now, granted, the player aid for those things are pretty good, and it will take you a little while to see them. Not all of them are super obvious what they actually mean, so because some of them have a decent amount of stuff going on, and so it's okay. The iconography isn't the best I've seen. Most of the time, you can get a general idea what it is, but then you read it and like, oh, okay, it does this. You're going to have that icon fatigue for the first, I'd say, 3 plays. And if you don't play it often, you're going to have to come back to it. Not the end of the world, the player aid's there, but those are things that are drawbacks from the game. But overall, I think if you look for a 20-minute filler, this is a great one. Now, it's not, as far as I know, there's not a North American distributor of this yet. I had to import this game from France. And so hopefully somebody brings it over. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships through board games by helping you find the next one you love.
Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, premium game mats, and more. And for a limited time only, my US and Canadian audience can get 15% off their premium game mats and accessories using the promo code GameBoyGeek15OFF. Also, go to GameToppersLLC.com to check out all the options or for worldwide late pledges of their recent 5.0 Kickstarter.